It's less than a month to the Edo State governorship election, but one thing that perhaps gives one some level of concern is a worry over possible violence. The different political parties, especially the top ones, the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress APC, have been accusing each other over plans to foment trouble. Let me introduce my panel to you and let's get started with the conversation. And from the different divides on this matter, Mr. Kenneth Imasuagbon is a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. He's in our Abuja studio. And from Benin City, he's a former member of the House of Assembly in Edo State, Honorable Henry Idahiagbon. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight on the program. Let's get started on the conversation tonight. And perhaps I should allow Mr. Imasuagbon, let me begin with you, to listen to these sound bites from the former governor of Edo State on the issue of violence when he visited the villa. Take a listen to Mr. Adams Oshiomhole after he visited the president, and this was what he said after the meeting, the meeting they had. This was what he said after the meeting. Take a listen to him.
So I shared this with Mr. President, and I said, all we don't need is good security. If APC man commit an offense, arrest him. If a PDP man commit an offense, arrest him. Once it is not about sermon do not change the heart of the devil. What changes the heart of men is the fear of sanction. And once one person is arrested from APC, another person is arrested from PDP if they are found involved in unlawful possession of firearms and they misuse those firearms, and they are arrested and prosecuted, the message is clear.
Mr. Imasuagbon, what's your reaction to what Mr. Oshiomhole has just said there? I know your party has been raising issues about plans of violence, but it does look, from what he said, there seems to be allegations and counter-accusations from both sides of the divide.
Thank you, Seun, for having me on your program. God bless you, Seun, your family, and Channels organization. Well, we know Oshiomhole. He says one thing, he means the other. If he says to you good morning, it means actually good night. The fact that he's saying that people that have the propensity to cause violence should be arrested means it's the person that wants to cause violence. This is a governor that we know for 8 years. For example, Seun, today as we speak, we know that Governor Obaseki is a man of peace. He loves peace. He's a peaceful governor. If you go to Edo, I just came back from Benin to Abuja today. I'll be back tomorrow to, God willing, to Benin. All Governor Obaseki posters, majority, Oshiomhole and his men, APC, they go from at night, like night marauders, they tear and destroy posters of a sitting governor only because this man loved the way of peace. We are lucky in Edo to have a governor like Obaseki. However, if you look at Governor Oshiomhole's history, he's a man that have lived all his life fighting wars. He's a man of violence. I have cried out to the world, to the police, I've cried out to the SSS, I've cried out to the federal government, even to international organizations, to America and many other countries, that Oshiomhole is having me on his assassination list. I mean every word I say. I now ask the world and Oshiomhole, why would you want to assassinate Kenneth Imasuagbon, who in 2007 stepped down his political ambition, governorship ambition for you, when you just had one car? I stepped down after spending money. I stepped down my political ambition, governorship.
Imasuagbon, let me apologies to sorry bosses. No, just to clarify things, because just a moment, just hold on, please. You made an allegation, and a very strong one, that there is an attempt on your life. Can you clarify what you mean by that? Is there evidence to it? Is there anything that you can show to justify what you've just said?
Yes. One, all over the deputy governor, the serving deputy governor, Philip Shuaibu, on credible intelligence, said there were meetings held by some Kogi people in Iyamu, in Governor Shomole's house, where some PDP leaders were marked on a hit list to be assassinated. The idea was cause confusion in Edo State, kill 1 or 2, 3 PDP leaders. That would make INEC to say, look, we cannot not conduct this election under this atmosphere. And my name was listed as one of those to be assassinated. And I asked, well, why would Oshomole hold such a meeting in his house? Why would they enlist Kenneth Imasuagbon to be assassinated? For employing Nigerians in Abuja and in the past 25 years teaching Nigerian children, for giving scholarship to men and women in uniform over 25 years, military, navy, police officers, for sharing rights over the past 16 years, for paying hospital bills at the UBTH. Is that why you want to kill me for supporting Obaseki? Yes, I stepped down for Governor Obaseki. It is my choice. I do not have a regret. However, Sheung, if we had a country, good country where things are done properly, people like me who have never done federal government contract, no state government contract, no government patronage, I should be given national honor rather than for people who never went to school to wanting to kill me. But there is God, they can't kill me. God is watching.
Let me
President Buhari is a good man, he's a father. I know he will not allow me to be killed. Americans are watching. I know I have strong ties with the United States of America. I cannot be killed. If I'm killed, there will be consequence. When I say there will be consequence, I mean there will be consequence. So it is. So,
Mr. Imasuagbon, just a moment, Mr. Imasuagbon. Let me bring
up for him.
Yeah, let me bring the other guests into the conversation.
What he's doing.
Honorable Idahiagbon, let me bring you into the conversation. I'll allow you also to respond to these soundbite from the chairman of the PDP, Mr. Uche Secondus. Take a listen to what he said. I would like to hear your response on it.
And the chief of staff and the former chairman of APC. We have tensions in the north. Tension, northeast, northwest, everywhere. And yet, they are in the villa under the watch of Mr. President, want to use the securities to clamp down. Are we in police state?
Those are strong allegations there, Honorable Idahiagbon. What would be your response?
Well, thank you, Sheung. Let me first correct your introduction of my humble self. I have never been a member of the House of Assembly, and I do not plan to contest the election into the House of Assembly. I am immediate past Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice at those states, the member of the House of Assembly. Before I respond directly to the soundbite that I've had the privilege of listening to, let me say that Imasuagbon's bogus accusations of national television is something of the responsible citizens of those states that he ought to be. Adam Sushumole is a man of ideas. He's an orator, not a man of violence. I have not been associated with violence. My friend Kenneth was trying to work when he's done, and I took him up. Of what political relevance is Imasuagbon in those politics to be deserving of an assassination? Anyone has never contested for councillorship, he has never been councillor, he has never been anything. So nobody is planning to assassinate anyone, let alone Kenneth Imasuagbon. He's just crying wolf. As for the reckless statement of the PDP national chairman, Uche Secondus, let me say very clearly, and I'm also made it clear after meeting with Mr. President, that anybody that is engaged in any violence during the process leading up to and an election day in the state should be fairly treated by the law without any fear of favor, even if the person is an APC member. And that's how a statesman should be. I belong to the school of thought, and I shared with the former President Jonathan that no election is worth the blood of any citizen, whether of the state or of the country. And our party, the APC, we are a peaceful party. When PDP went to pay a courtesy call on the Oba of Benin, and then they brought their talk because Kapelosa Akumbo was there, 7 members of the PDP were arrested by the police in Edo. We are still waiting for the arraignment in court today. That they are yet to do. So the violent party in Edo State is the PDP. It's Imasuagbon's party and not the APC. So they should start crying wolf. The deputy governor has addressed a press conference claiming that some people are going to be assassinated. That is precisely their plan. I that am speaking to you now, I am a survivor of the assassination plan by the governor on the 30th of January 2020. I have 77 bullet holes in my office at Siloko Road in Benin City, broad daylight, 1:30 p.m. So, the PDP are trying to get state. Yes, there have been tension here and there. The tension has been caused by the PDP. The APC is a peaceful party. Our candidate is a man of peace, is a man of God, a pastor, is a renowned, a redeemed church of God. And we are going about our campaign peacefully. Yesterday, we were in the local government, we went to several places. There was not a single incident. The PDP went to Igwebe. There were no people to welcome them at Igwebe. They started shooting into the air and caused commotion. They went to the north, shot. There's not a single gunshot in all our APC campaigns. And we have surpassed the length and breadth of the 18 local government areas. So, who is the aggressor here? Who is the violent party here? It is the PDP.
All right. So let me go back to Abuja. And the issue of performance and ideas that are going to be shared in this election are very critical. Before I do that, I wanted to listen to what the candidate of the APC said about the situation in Edo State. This is Pastor Idahiagbon talking about the state of roads in Edo State. Take a listen to him.
There are no roads. You can see the kind of detour we have to take to get here. There's no water. There's no light. No new schools. No support from government. No hospital. So they are more or less on their own, abandoned, so to speak. And my coming here is just to assure them that because I know their problems, because I live among them, we will ensure by their votes and by government, we'll be able to solve them.
You heard what the candidate of the APC said about the state of things in Edo State. Does it give you some jitters as a member of the PDP in the campaign?
Well, Seun, Governor Obaseki is a marvel, is a genius. We've never had it in Edo since this republic. Among all the governors, Obaseki has been the finance, he's a guru, a financial expert. Look at what he has done with roads. This is a governor, Governor Obaseki. He has made or created 350 roads in Edo. Only 4 days ago, he was in my village during his war tour. I had the privilege of, for the first time in my life, commissioning a road under the grace of Governor Obaseki. In education, he's a perfect governor. He's been able to retrain teachers. Teacher salaries are paid as at when due. Roof of schools that Oshomole couldn't do, Obaseki have done major schools. Our schools today is modern and tailored through a modern ICT school system. Teachers are happier now. The teachers of Edo State, they are going to vote for Obaseki massively. Pensioners that Oshomole could not pay for 8 years. Today, as I speak, Edo pensioners are ready to pay back during the election, to pay the good work of Obaseki in paying their pensions arrears that were owed by Oshomole's administration. Obaseki have cleared all those. Hospitals, what about the hospitals? We've got the best hospitals today in Edo State. In the 192 wards, Seun, every ward in Edo State, Obaseki have an hospital, a clinic, modern clinic today in 192 wards. He has been able to do that. What about attracting investors to Edo? The Azura plant, the Oshomo plant. What about the refinery, the modular refinery? Creating over 10,000 jobs at completion. It's been able to bring Chinese. It's been able to bring international companies to trigger the development and lay a formidable foundation for a new Edo. For Obaseki, what we are seeing is a huge blessing. He doesn't make noise about it. He's a gentleman who does his job silently. While if in the days of Oshomola, if he ties 1 kilometer road, he will get all the press and be shouting and be walking on the streets. A man for 8 years who never did anything in Edo State. Unlike an Obaseki is performing, but who is not making noise. My take and my thanksgiving to my creator is that I'm grateful to God that I, Kenneth Imasuagbon, is supporting Obaseki rather than a violent party or led by Oshomole, rather than a party that has failed the Edo people. You will see the result. We are going to defeat APC 80 to 20%.
So,
in
Mr. Imasuagbon, let's again allow Honorable Idahiagbon to come back to the conversation. Honorable Idahiagbon, I'd like you to respond to what Mr. Imasuagbon had to say, but take a listen to what Governor Godwin Obaseki said about the situation and the performance. Take a listen to Governor Godwin Obaseki in a moment.
In Edo today, you have more electricity than we can consume. The problem we have is distribution. So this is our second term. We will now make sure that that light, that electricity, which we're already generating in Edo, gets to every home in Edo State.
So, Honorable Idahiagbon, your response on what the governor said on that podium and what Mr. Imasuagbon said too.
You see, Mr. Imasuagbon does not live in Edo State. He lives in Abuja and then in Washington, D.C. The Edo State described by Imasuagbon just now before Nigerian people is the Edo State of Imasuagbon's dreams, not the Edo State where I live in. I don't live in Abuja and I don't live in Washington. That Obaseki has built clinic in 192 wards, that he has started 350 roads. I challenge Imasuagbon and I challenge his governor to name 10 out of the 350 roads. In Metropolitan Benin City, Obaseki has started only 3 roads. The first is Lucky Way by Ramat Park in Ikpoba Hill. The second is Iriri Road, linking Airport Road to Sapele Road. The third is a Hikeman and Television Road. It's one straight road. Those are the 3 completed roads in Metropolitan Benin City. I was born here. I have never lived outside of this place, and I'm here. I slept in here yesterday, and I will sleep here this night. The 4th road is a Kawa Road and is abandoned. There are pockets of lanes and avenues in the GROA done with C4 and NDDC. That is all. No other road. I challenge him to mention roads, to mention the streets. I have mentioned streets. It was the campaign program of campaign promise of Governor Obaseki that he will build clinics in the 192 wards. In fact, he said 18 is a campaign. He's dumb. The only politician that can compare to Obaseki in the entire wide world is President Donald Trump. Obaseki went to Okpila. The Okpila of Okpila deliberately took him through the worst roads to the venue of their rally. And when he got there, he said, oh, this road is very bad. If I don't tie it in the next 2 years, if you vote for me, don't call me governor again. Why would they call you other than governor? He went to Ilushi. He said for the past 5 years, and that's Kenneth Imasuagbon's local government. He said for the past 5 years, you people don't have electricity. I will give you. He forgets that for the past 5 years, 4 years of it, he was the governor. Obaseki is a scam. He came to con Edo people. He's a con man.
Let me allow Mr. Imasuagbon to react to what you have said tonight about the performance of the governor. You've mentioned the issue of electricity, the refinery, and the issue of the hospital. Mr. Imasuagbon, how do you react to those?
You know, my friend Idahiagbon, his comments are laughable. The risk karma is Oshomole, APC, and their candidate I find it difficult at times. I wonder why we Nigerians don't appreciate nice people like Obaseki. This is a man that is committed to Edo development. My friend, Idahiagbon's pain is that Obaseki coming has changed the narrative of sharing the money. He refused to give money to politicians. He said, look, I want to do work for the ordinary Edo people. And he's doing the job. Obaseki is a huge blessing. Never in the history of politics since 1999 have we seen a performing governor like Obaseki. I'll tell you, Shehu, in area of roads, in my ward, he's done 2 roads. In my local government, he's done over 12 roads. I had followed him over 80-something wards now. We've been campaigning, Chris Cotton, we are campaigning. Come and see the approval of Edo people. The problem with APC, they cannot stomach that they are going to lose this election. Each time they see the followership, the acceptance of Obaseki have against a drowning godfather who runs to Abuja believing that President Buhari, with all what he has done to Nigeria, will, because of Oshomole, cause bloodshed and use the military to rig election. Buhari is not going to do that. I can promise that. Buhari will choose to be in history, to write his name down in gold, than to allow Oshomole and APC frustrated people in Edo. The risk come out today is Oshomole and his APC people in Edo. They cannot even fathom that, oh, we are losing. PDP was in opposition for 12 years in Edo. We did not die. Oshomole was in opposition during Jonathan. We did not die. Jonathan allowed Oshomole and he won 18 local government. Look, no, if Oshomole like, and make I talk for pidgin English, make it bring the whole, even American army, Nigeria army. General Brutai, I love you. I love you. I knew you as a major. I know your thoughts, I know your values. You will not succumb to Oshomole's antics. Allow the will of the people to prevail, Edo. That is the only way forward for the country. To allow Nigeria now to have crisis in Edo because of Oshomole and because the Idahiagbon must be governor. Alba, God is watching, oh. We Edo, we are waiting, oh. We will wait for the INEC. INEC, we are waiting. We are waiting for you to do what is right, so that at the end of the day, Professor Mahmoud, the day you will die, you will meet with your God and you say, oh, I fought a good fight for Nigeria. Like Jega have done. Today, Jega is a hero because he did the right thing. INEC, military, police, IG, do the right thing. All right. If Obaseki loses in a free and fair election, I will be the first person to tell him you fought a good fight.
All right. Let me allow Mr. Idahiagbon to come back into the conversation. And now, let's do some analysis now. Just a moment, Mr. Imasuagbon. I'd like you to react to what some of the issues that have been raised here as regarding issues of violence and some of the allegations against the leader of your party, Adams Oshomole. But look at what happened in 2016. The APC candidate then, who is now the PDP candidate, Godwin Obaseki, won the election with 52% of the vote. With your candidate, who is now the APC candidate, was then the PDP candidate, winning with 41%. What do you think could happen this time around? From your own analysis, I know you're a strategist also, Honorable Idahiagbon.
I am, and people like Kenneth Imasuagbon, they are baby politicians when we talk. The baby, it's just been garrulous. Let me tell you, Obaseki winning with 52% in 2016 shows the strength of Pastor Sagi Idahiagbon, our candidate. Pastor Sagi Idahiagbon has been the issue in Edo State politics since the beginning of this republic in 1999. I have said it before, and let me repeat it here. If there are 100 former political office holders in Edo State today, Sagi Idahiagbon has been responsible and has contributed mostly directly and sometimes indirectly to at least 80% of them attaining whether elective or appointive office. And in spite of the fact that Oshomole was a sitting governor, in spite of the fact that Oshomole worked, the only governor you can compare Oshomole with in Edo State is Ogbemudia and Professor Ambrose Ali. Oshomole is generally referred to as the apostle of development in Edo State. In spite of all that, we could only defeat Pastor Isage Ezeyamu then with just 52 to 48%. Let me tell you now, that guy making out there, he probably will not be in his village is called AKK Quarters in Ubiaja. He probably will not be there on September 19th to vote because he will be in Abuja, he will be in Washington, D.C. When coronavirus started, he ran to Washington, D.C. because he thought it was going to kill all of us here in Africa, in Nigeria. Thank God it didn't kill us. Now, as we speak, the election in Edo State, if you ask me to rate it objectively, 70-30%. 70% as we speak today for Pastor Isage Ezeyamu. We intend to ramp it up to 80% before the election, and a paltry and miserly 20% to Governor Obaseki. In every local government he has gone to. In fact, the people of Eastern Southeast, Ubiaja as capital, they will not allow Kenneth Imasuagbon to enter their local government. I haven't lied on national television that he has started 12 roads in his local government and 2 in his ward. I am from a local government. It is one of the 3 metropolitan local governments in Edo State. I have been an elected council chairman of that local government. Obaseki has not graded 1 road. As we speak, Pastor Isage Ezeyamu, who is just a candidate, had to send caterpillars and bulldozers to my own ward 1 to be grading the roads in order to allow people to be able to move. And then you are telling me the man left Metropolitan Benin to go to Ubiaja, to go and tap 14 roads? That must be in your imagination. Let me tell you, the pastor has a simple agenda. Because of his deep involvement in governance issues, and he has had the opportunity to reflect on governance issues in Edo State, he came out with an agenda. It's a document with which you can reckon his performance by the time he's elected by the grace of God come September 19. The S of the people,
Honorable Idahiagbon, because let's spend the last few minutes that we have to allow Mr. Imasuagbon to react to you. If you look at the results of the 2016 election, in Igweben, Oredo and Orion, it was a very, very tough battle in 2016, with sometimes 1,000, less than 1,000 votes between the 2 major candidates, that is Isage Ezeyamu and Godwin Obaseki. He said that they're going to beat your party 70% to 30%. What is your analysis of how this election is going to pan out?
Sure. This is laughable still. You know, the pain of my friend, Idahiagbon, is that he cannot fathom that they are losing power. I pity him. All over since we left school, he's always been around corridors of power. He licks Oshomole's wounds and feet. He can say anything on national telly. I create jobs. I build jobs. I'm from the private sector. I have contributed to Nigeria more than a serving governor. But let's leave that. I will not talk to him. However, on Obaseki, Obaseki is set to win. The other person leading the charge of APC is a known scammer. When I say a scammer, a political 419 and a godfather kneeling down. See Oshomole kneeling down. They are begging. Now all their tricks have failed. They have resorted to kneeling, begging. And the people are saying, no, our mumu don't reach. We not go agree. We want Obaseki who have said, no, I would rather give the money to the people to develop hospitals, schools, make create jobs, make life for the ordinary, the weak people. Look, let me tell you, Sheung, and the world knows, and we've just gone around the world tour. The people have made up their mind. While we are doing world campaign, they don't even have the audacity to go to the wars. They are running to President Buhari and INEC, to Abuja. They don't know INEC, Abuja. Those are games of the past. The game of the present, that democracy is the people's business. We in Edo, we are resolved. We, the people of Edo, do hereby declare that we want democracy. Buhari wants democracy. The army wants democracy. That Professor Mahmoud will allow democracy rather than to allow Oshomole and others to write results. If you ever write results, we will not accept it. I wouldn't accept it. I don't want to reply my friend. because I understand his frustration. A man who hasn't created one job in his life, moving from one government to the other and licking their wounds. I can talk because I'm a builder of the Nigerian economy. I have over 700 graduates under my payroll. I pay taxes. I go to Washington.
Mr. Imasuagbon,
I take his keys of Washington and bring it back to Abuja.
We have to leave it at that, gentlemen.
Connecting Kobo from Oshomole and others.
All right.
We shall see.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kenneth Imasuagbon, chieftain of the PDP, and as well as Honorable Henry.
My junior as a lawyer. And you that have practiced for over 10 years. Has never won his
We're out of time, and we need to close the program now. Honorable Henry Idahiagbon and Mr. Kenneth Imasuagbon. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your talk tonight.